We'll have some fantasy must-plays for Week 9. We kick things off with the 6-2 Vikings at the 5-3 Chiefs. If there was such a thing as comeback player within an NFL season, Kirk Cousins might be the hands-down winner. A month ago, he was labeled an $84 million bust. His receivers weren't happy with him, and they were asking to be traded. Fast forward to now, Vikings have won 4 straight. Cousins leads the league with a 115 quarterback rating. Meanwhile, KC, they've lost 3 of their last 4. Matt Moore nearly led the Chiefs back last week against Green Bay, and Patrick Mahomes is doing everything he possibly can to get back on the field, Hub.
Well, you talk about Kirk Cousins, yes, the 115 passer rating, very impressive, but look at the average per pass, 9.3. I remember the last time I saw that in the NFL. He is completing 72% of his passes. Will Adam Thielen be okay with that hamstring? He's had 3 extra days to rest. They played a week ago Thursday night for the Chiefs. Not only have they lost 3 of their last 4, they've lost all 3 at home. Could they lose a 4th straight home game? Yeah, you've got Patrick Mahomes practicing a little bit, but Matt Moore played very well last week against Green Bay. He's not the reason they lost. And so, Dave, do they push Mahomes too soon out of panic to try and avoid that 4th straight loss at home?
Yeah, I still, that was they had a chance to beat the Packers, with Matt Moore, as you said. That was impressive. I think there'll be a playoff team, obviously, but the home field will probably lose down the road. Minnesota, though, you mentioned Cousins. I got to come back to him, and it's not like he's playing great and he's throwing 50 passes a game, guys. He's still throwing about the number that he was throwing early when he wasn't playing good. He threw 26 passes last week, right? And you see the completion percentage, but he's not taking sacks. He's not throwing interceptions. You combine that with the leading rusher. Defensively, they got Pro Bowl players on all 3 levels. Dan, we know that. Up front, linebacker and secondary. They're a complete football team.
They are a complete team, especially when you got them inside. They got to go on the road on this one, and it may not be that warm. The one thing about Patrick Mahomes, with Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City can beat the Vikings. Can it beat him without Patrick Mahomes? We're going to find out if he is not going to be ready to go. But Matt Moore, maybe comeback player of the year. Had a great night against the Packers, come up a little short. But the one thing is, now with Tyreek Hill back, Kelce is going to be a bigger factor. Even if they go with Mahomes, they can go with the quick 3, 4, 5-step drops, get the ball out of his hands. And think about this. They win in this game. They go to Tennessee. They can win with more there. They come back home against the Chargers, win there. They go to 8-3 at the halfway point. Or at the bye. I think we're going to see Mahomes. I like the Kansas City Chiefs.
Only coach is going with Minnesota on the road in that one. Next.
You guys may think I'm crazy. I like Minnesota. I do.
But do you believe?
I do believe.
Okay.
I believe in my cousin. And, because here's a guy set to the whole season. Everybody talking about they paid him his money, not letting him throw. Then the coach allows him to throw. You can only throw the ball when they let you. You're not going to do much with 10 passes a game. And once they open it up, bam, they have a good defense. All these things. What is this number?
That's my psychiatrist. Call him.
All right. Let's move on. Which coach has done the best job of overcoming adversity this year? And speaking of great, well, they can also describe the recent play of Kirk Cousins. After surviving an avalanche of criticism, the Vikings QB became the league's top-rated passer for the month of October, and his numbers during the past 4 weeks have simply been off the charts. So as we head out to Kansas City, we'll talk about the great Kirk Cousins, who sat down with the great Pam Oliver, the Hall of Famer. Always great to see you, Pam.
Hey, a whole lot of greats going on down there, Kurt, and I'm happy to be one of them. Yeah, the first month of the season, not good for the Minnesota Vikings offense. They were inconsistent. They were still looking for an identity. Controversy ensued, and then Kirk Cousins was caught smack dab in the middle of it. Things started to settle down a little bit. He started having a lot of good highlights, and some are even wondering now the way he's playing. Is he playing the best football of his career? October, your month. What was it about that 4 weeks that helped you put together such career numbers?
Well, I think I had an intensity and an edge to my preparation, to the way I played.
Man, he's a dog today. Every throw's been spot on.
Really, it was just a desire to get back on track after, a couple tough division losses that we didn't play our best football. I didn't play my best football. And I just felt like, hey, when you turn this thing around, and it felt like the last few weeks we've been able to do that.
After week 4 and everyone was unhappy, well, now everybody's getting the football and everybody's smiling. Let's talk about week 4, your favorite week.
We have to be able to run the ball and pass the ball. In this league, you cannot be one-dimensional. I feel like there's truth to all of them.
I really want to apologize to him.
How did you navigate all of that when it looked like there's some implosion about to happen?
You really ignore the noise.
How?
Well, you just go back to work. I mean, we don't have articles printed on the walls in the facility. We don't have, talking heads, hot takes running on a loop in the cafeteria. I think that's the biggest misconception is people don't understand really what was going on and the relationship that I have with those players and other guys in the locker room. There was absolutely no need to mend anything.
The Vikings are coming on strong since Kirk Cousins has been cut.
There's nobody playing at a higher level than Kirk Cousins.
Kirk looked good out there.
Now that it's all hail Kirk Cousins, does part of you sort of think, well, where were you guys before?
There's some of that. I think more so just the recognition that any praise you get is so fickle. You have to earn it every week, and it'll go away if you don't go out and earn it. And so you don't really play for that praise. You play for the respect to your teammates. People want to pat us on the back along the way after a great game. That's fine, but we don't take too much stock in it. We talk about not riding the roller coaster when we're down. We also don't want to ride the roller coaster when things are up. Let's just stay steady all the way through, keep working, and we'll see where we are when the dust settles.
Ultimately, the conversation that you want to be in with some of the best quarterbacks in the league, how do you arrive to the point where you're talking, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Kirk Cousins?
You win.
Yeah.
It's simple. You can, look at numbers and say, oh, he's done some good things, but the wins are key. And no better place to do that than on the road against a really good team. The Chiefs in Arrowhead. It's a great place to win a football game and start to, earn your way into the upper echelon of the league as a team. But that's really all that it comes down to is winning football games.
And Cousins knows that the narrative surrounding his football team will always change. It will always fluctuate. People's opinions of him will always fluctuate as well. But what he told us is that he doesn't let that negative stuff enter his psyche. He's all about being positive, helping his team win. Now, let's go back to Howie.
Yeah, that outfit comes with a soundtrack. That was great. He's a fascinating guy. He's drafted in the 4th round in Washington. He was really Mike Shanahan's pick. Mike Shanahan didn't want to take RG3. He had 3 4,000-plus yard passing seasons. The Redskins decided not to bring him back. They franchised him twice. He's played at a high level in Minnesota, but I think 4 weeks ago when the whole thing kind of came to a head, when there was criticism both in the building and outside the building, I think he responded, and I think the key was Mike Zimmer put the ball in his hands and said, go win it. We've got a great run game, we've got great wide receivers, but we're not utilizing the full scope of our offense until you do it. He's responded with a month where he's been named the player of the month for the 3rd time in his career. The key for this team going as far as they want to go, and he was brought in here to do what? Finish. And the key to that is him.
I think the head coach got out of the way. I think the head coach realized
he had to trust him. He had to trust him.
Yeah, you're going to bring the guy in there. You better trust him. And they're going against the Kansas City team that if you'd have marked this on your calendar at the beginning, you said, we know it, Mahomes and Cousins going at it. I would love to say no Mahomes, no problem, but that would be lying to you, people. I'm going to be honest with you. No Mahomes, there's the problem.
And maybe create some extra opportunities for that Chiefs offense. What a matchup we have for you today here in Kansas City. A rematch of Super Bowl IV, if you will, and a couple of real good teams. Vikings and the Chiefs on a perfect Sunday afternoon. It's the NFL on Fox and the kickoff coming your way next. Incredible, isn't that?
You want to be. Low-scoring games, but not to talk about it. We welcome you to Visa Halftime. Here is Week 9 in a nutshell.
All right, the reigning NFL MVP Patrick Mahomes out for the 2nd straight week with a knee injury. Watches Matt Moore in his stead. Matt Moore down the right side. Boy, to Tyreek Hill, what a gorgeous pass. And what great lunging by Hill to make that touchdown, a 40-yarder. We're up 7 at week. Kansas City's up 7-0, and back comes Cousins to B.C. Johnson, a 4-yard touchdown. We're tied up. A good football game, 10-10. Vikings.
Michael, another game a lot of people are watching, Minnesota and Kansas City.
Oh, yeah, Kirk, here we go. Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins has been, up and down. That's been the thing about Kirk. You don't know what you're going to get sometimes. And here, Just seems like a simple throw out to the flat to Cook, and he just throws it over his head.
Had a
But
guy
then,
in the face, Mike.
but okay, you're a quarterback. You get used to that. Then he steps into this one, perfect pass, 26 yards to Treadwell. Great pass there. But here, just having some more field awareness. You need a big first down here. I know he can't see that red line or yellow line we see, but he's looking at it as he slides. You got to have the awareness to know where the first down is. And we can see going into the half, Diggs looked like he was yelling at Kirk Cousins.
Not at him, about him.
About him.
Maybe.
Okay, maybe.
We think.
Yeah. Okay.
Possible. He was angry about something, but these are the games, for Kirk Cousins, it's the yards are there, the touchdowns are there, the big numbers are there. It's the games like this and the games that are coming up on their schedule where he has to really win the day, solidify his position as a quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings.
Great finish in KC. Patrick Mahomes out for the second straight game with that knee injury.
All right, Kirk Cousins, what you got for me? Right down the middle, beautiful throwing ball to Kyle Rudolph, the tight end, a 3-yard touchdown, 23-20 Vikings. And then in the final seconds, Harrison Butker makes this 44-yard game-winning field goal as time expired. Everybody's all excited on the sideline. Mahomes in there. 26-23 Chiefs at home take their record to 6-3 as they beat the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, Butker, 4 field goals today, 3 of them long, over 40 yards. But Matt Moore, the star once again, only 1 touchdown pass, but he kept the ship steady, gets the victory, and afterwards talked about it with Pam Oliver.